you're watching the Top 6 Show, the original multi-club fan channel. Make sure you're following us now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. The link is in the description below. Welcome back to the Top 6 Show, powered by BetMGM and Golden Goals this week. Get their app downloaded now to win £2 million. I repeat, £2 million this weekend if you get 6 scores correct. It's only 6 scores correct. £2 million, tax-free money in your back pocket. Hit the like and share button as well. Brilliant panel for you tonight. Roms is back with us, talking all things Liverpool. LB is here. Kate is back with us, repping Chelsea. We've got Tottenham. Sorry. Oh, my mistake. Sorry. I saw Hazard on the wall, and I thought you must have been a Chelsea fan. Sorry. My apologies. Don is on his way, who is back in Chelsea today. He'll be with us very, very soon again. And it's great to have my G all the way here from Lagos back on the show again. Remind everybody of your name and where they can find you, bro.
Oh yeah, now my people. It's your guy, the Niger Englishman, the dark-skinned man from the motherland. If you didn't know before, tonight you go understand. Big up Terry, big up the panel, big up the chat, big up Nigeria to start the AFCON. Yeah, I guess we're going to talk about Arsenal, the only depressing part of my life right now. But yeah, big up everyone, man. Let's go.
And I'll say that if I did the same intro you did, I'd be cancelled. But there we go. Big up to yourself. I'm glad that you are here. You're here with us as well. I love it. Listen, there's only one place to start. And we're going to start with Chelsea. No, we won't, because Don's not here. I was going to start with Chelsea. We'll start with the game this weekend, Man United versus Tottenham. How are you feeling about it, Kate? Coming to Old Trafford. You don't have a particularly good record there. However, Man United, as ever, are on the skin of our ass, struggling as ever. Are you confident of coming there and getting a result against Ten Hag's flailing men?
Do you know what? I'm scared to say too much, Terry, because you've convinced me into the world of the football gods. But this is probably the most confident I've been going to Old Trafford since Poch was in charge. I think Man United look an absolute shambles. They don't look like a team. They look like a bunch of individuals running around, not knowing what they're really doing. I think Tottenham are starting to get their act together. We could have Romero back at the weekend. We could have Mickey van der Ven back the weekend. Then we've got the new signings that have come in, which potentially could be interesting. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be, we've got to take our chances in the first half hour, which I think we will. I think they'll be bang up for it. And yeah, I am. I'm quietly confident about this weekend's game. I'll be devastated if we don't beat your lot. I'm not going to lie.
LB, a lot of people are suggesting United will lose. Spurs will win comfortably. This could be the end of Ten Hag. Do you see it going that way?
Well, you know what it is with this manager, this fraudulent manager you've got, Terry, is like whenever he's on the brink, he always manages to like get a result and just keep himself in a job for a little bit longer. And he's got 1 win in the last 5 Prem games. You know, Newcastle could go above you. Chelsea could go above you. Wolves could go above you. They're all the teams that could go above you should results go a certain way. I don't know. Listen, obviously Spurs are missing a few players. Yeah, they're missing a few key players, and that's really disappointing for them. But I still think they're going to come to your ground with confidence. I think they should come to your ground with confidence. They should go there believing that they can win. And if they do win, United lose, I just don't know how long this process with Ten Hag can go on. Now, whether or not, because this new guy that's come in, is he just going to sort of like ignore these short-term results and maybe give him to the end of the season and then just talk to him at the end of the season? But like, he's got to show something. He's got to show something, man. So listen, it's a massive game for both teams. I think obviously Spurs as well. They're right there for the top 4 race. You know, they're only 6 points off at the top as well, but no one wants to speak about that. Top 4 is well within a target range for Spurs. This is a massive game for both teams. Huge game. But if United lose, Terry, I mean, how long can this man stay in a job? It's a laughing stock, man. I actually genuinely feel, that I had more respect for United when they had Ollie. And that's saying something, man. That guy was a PE teacher as well. So, yeah, big game, big game.
I do hear where you're coming from. I do hear where you're coming from. He has this ability to pull a result out of nowhere. What's crazy about this league table? If we actually beat Spurs, we'd go on to 30. We'd only be 5 points behind them. After they're being lauded for having a great season, and we're having maybe one of our worst campaigns in living memory. So there are wins in this Man United team. You look at the form, though. 1 win in the last 5 for us, 4 wins out of the last 5 for Tottenham, who really have found their feet again. Everything is pointing to a Tottenham win. What are you saying, Roms? What are you saying on this, bro? Like, how do you see it going? Do you think United will get humbled? Could it be a beating? Or do you think, a bit like LB is suggesting, that United will just get the job done against Tottenham this weekend?
Kind of going off what LB said, the minute he said Ten Hag has this thing where when he's on the brink of potentially, if you don't win this game, you're going to get sacked, he just wins the game. Like Wigan, let's be honest, that was like, and albeit being Wigan, and I think they're in the bottom 3 of League One or bottom 5, whatnot, it was still a high pressure game because of the context of your season, because you're not where you want to be. I think it's 14 defeats already this season for United, 13 or 14. That was a high pressure game. He wins it. Albeit we expected him to. We've expected United to win certain games this season as well, and they haven't. But this game against Spurs, I think is very interesting. One thing I'll say is we goals galore, but I can just see Ten Hag just surviving another day and just nicking it. And this isn't because Spurs are a worse team than United. I think Spurs will dominate the ball. I think they'll be better than them in most metrics. But I just think United will, I don't know, a counter or just a break, and they'll do enough just to pip Spurs. So I would go with United, and it won't be pretty. It'll be one of them games you come away from it like, how did United win that? But they just do. And the fact they say at Old Trafford, look, I know Bournemouth beat you there 3-0. I think that's your last league defeat. And other teams have come there and got shock results. But it still is Old Trafford. I can't ignore that. And some might say, what does that mean? But I just feel Ten Hag will do enough. But you know what? Your next game, he probably then loses that. That is just United this season. I don't know who it is. But I'm just going to say already, you probably lose it without knowing who the team is. Because that's just United this year. But I just feel they'll nick it. And like LB saying, you've enticed me to believe in the football gods, Terry. Where everyone's expecting, majority are expecting United not to win. I just feel like that's why you'll win as well. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to United just.
Don, what kind of impact is TImo Werner going to have on this game?
I mean, we're talking about a guy that I wanted out of my club. I had to go look at my tweets again just to remind myself of the pain this guy put me through, man. And I tweeted, I said, I don't want this bum as our main striker next season. Yeah, that was in 2021. I tweeted that, right? And for me, listen, Werner, we don't know what Werner's going to turn up, man. It's a red flag that he went back to the team that we bought him from, and already they've got rid of him. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know what type of Werner we're going to get. I hope it's the Werner that we saw at Chelsea, obviously. But let's see if Ange can work his magic a little bit for UK. But honestly, I just don't see how this man at 28 now, nearly 30, is going to just start, becoming a finisher all of a sudden. So let's see what he does, man. Let's see what he does. Everything else away from the finishing, he's all right. His movement's good. He's born offside. That's one thing about him. But I don't know, man. This guy's just not going to move the needle for me, I don't think.
Can I just add on to that, though? We've seen what Ange could do this year with players who, let's be honest, we thought their careers were done and dusted. Your Emerson Royals, your Davis, he's been able to get a tune out of them. Basuma, last season, people saying, is he the same Basuma? Albeit, I know he's had injuries and suspensions, he's come back and did well. Richarlison, he's had an upturn in form recently. Ange is able to get a tune out of his players, and that's what the best managers do. You never know. Werner could come into the Spurs team, and he's the Werner we saw at his first spell at Leipzig, the reason why Chelsea bought him. So I think this actually might be a decent little loan spell for Spurs. And I know we spoke about before, LB. If it doesn't work, it was a loan. Do you know what I mean? It was bad 6 months, and he goes back.
Roms.
I hear you, Roms. I hear you. But
go on, Kunle.
Nah, I hear what Roms is saying, but look, I can see positives to the Werner signing in terms of he suits Ange's style of play. But let's not get it twisted. This is TImo Werner. Like, we've not forgotten that the years that we watched this guy make love with the offside trap. Like, let's not be silly here. Like, he lives there. He pays rent constantly for that offside trap. He's gonna probably have the record for offside goals in the second half of the season. But let's be fair, he's one player that does have a purple patch in him. So that purple patch, we don't know what that could end up having Spurs achieve, top 4 or whatever. You never know. Actually not win a trophy, but yeah, you know what I'm saying.
You never had no purple patches at Chelsea. The guy had 10 goals in the Prem the whole time, bro. 3 seasons. He didn't have not a single purple patch at Chelsea. I don't know what you're watching, Kunle.
He's got a purple patch in him, but I don't think it's going to be a good signing overall.
Oh, I don't know how I'm muted. Yeah, bro. I was going to say, on that first season, though, yeah, he got 6 goals, 12 assists for you guys. Now, I know you'll say, oh, yeah, but he missed a lot of stuff, but that's not bad for a first season. 18 G&A in his first year.
Yeah, but the amount of chances this guy was missing, though, was ridiculous, man. I'm talking about right in front of goal. Yeah? He can just pass it or shoot. He's missing it right in front of goal, bro. Offside, like Kunle said.
Okay. LB, this is a better question.
Nah. As an individual, it wasn't good enough, man.
How many of you would have taken Werner at your club?
Nah, because that's not. No. That's not a good question, bro. I'll tell you what.
Why not? Why not?
No, because with the greatest of respect to Spurs, they're not competing like we are. And I say that with the greatest respect. They're trying to build their way up to become like City, like Liverpool, like Arsenal. They're not. So this is a good signing for them, in my opinion.
Are you saying it with respect?
Well, it's not. It doesn't sound respectful, but I do mean it in a respectful way.
It's the truth, though. Without being horrible to Tottenham, they're not Man City. They're not Arsenal. They're not Liverpool. They're a step or 2 or 3 below those clubs in terms of where they are now, historically, trophies. So no, I agree with that. In terms of this game, though, look, we'll beat Tottenham. We will beat Tottenham this weekend. We will beat them. This isn't because
make sure you know.
I believe we will. I believe we will. People are too confident that Spurs are going to beat us. It's one of those games where we'll win. I don't even need to break. I'll give you an example of a game like that. Everyone thought Chelsea were going to come to Old Trafford and smoke us. It's got the same feeling, the same talk. Everybody's laughing at us ahead of time before a ball's kicked, and that upsets the football gods. Spurs are a better team than Man United. No, I'm not saying they're rubbish. They're a better team than Man United. On form, they should beat us. On overall quality this year, they should beat us. But complacency is going to creep in because everyone's acting like they've already won. And as soon as you start doing that in football, you get a smack on the nose. So I'm going a narrow Man United win in this game. I'm backing the boys to do it. I don't necessarily want to win because I kind of want Ten Hag gone. It's not what I'm like. I don't want to. But I don't want to win. I'm in a really weird place with my club right now. It's horrible. But I think we will. And I think we will because there'll be a little bit of complacency. Unless
I agree.
In 20 minutes, Man United will win the game 2-1.
No, I agree with you, Terry. I think like Ten Hag listens to every day I'm hustling because this guy is a hustler. On the way to the game on the weekend, he's going to be pumping the anthem like he usually does when his job's on the line, and he's going to pull it out the bag. I don't know what this guy did, and the juju, the Old Trafford juju is real. Let's not lie. And every now and again, it cooks up a spell, and I think this is going to be another one this week. As much as I hate both clubs, so it's one of the most confusing games of my season. I don't care really what happens. I prefer a draw, but unfortunately, I think Man United are just going to edge this one. You know?
Do you guys remember that video? I think this is the video he plays to the team when he's about to get sacked. You ever seen that video of the little bald guy that says, I think I'm going to lose my job. I think he plays. I think he plays that video, and they go, "Oh, we don't want to see him crying outside afterwards with the Glazers chasing him." But yeah, listen, I'm not. A lot of people saying need humbling. I'm not saying we're better than Tottenham. That isn't. None of those words have left my mouth.
Yeah, but Terry, the thing is, you can't even use us as an example. Like, I know you said, Chelsea. Everyone said Chelsea were going to come to Old Trafford and beat you lot. Yeah, Pochettino tactically, bro. I didn't think I'll see a worse tactical game than Ten Hag. Like, he's actually been worse than Ten Hag. I don't see Ange tactically being as bad as Poch.
I get you. I think Spurs will look like they did against Wolves in the game.
Do you know what, Terry?
You'll be sitting there and you'll all be saying, why didn't they attack more? It's going to be one of them ones for me. It's going to be one of them.
I think it's going to be similar to the Villa game. I think Spurs go 1 up, potentially even 2. And we know Ange sticks to his principles. I can see, look, United have had most success this season with spacing behind. I said after the Villa game, United will lose next week to Forest because Forest give it a go, but they know when to be pragmatic. They know when to park the bus. And look, they got the result. I just feel Spurs will outplay United, probably even go 1 or 2 up. But that space in behind, I know some people might say your forwards can't finish their dinner, but this might be the game they do. I think Garnacho, Højlund, Rashford, and Anthony and whatnot, they're going to relish the space in behind. But this is why I think Van der Ven is key. I think Van der Ven, I know he's not 100% fit, so he probably won't start the game, probably get introduced. But if you can have him back, and even if you just see him starting as Spurs fans, I think that will fill you a lot of confidence because he can maybe catch up to that high line. He can maybe cheat. You know, when you give them a yard of space, he's got the ability to catch up with them. But I can see United nicking this.
Can I ask you a question, Kate? Because there's a comment here from AJ that says, if Spurs can't beat a mediocre team like United, we have no right even mentioning title race. How embarrassed will you be if Man United beat you at the weekend? Will you feel a sense of embarrassment if that happens?
No, I won't be embarrassed because we're going to your place and Old Trafford is Old Trafford at the end of the day, but we are better than you. I'll be embarrassed because your manager's crap and ours, I think, tactically is far superior to yours.
You'll be embarrassed.
I just think it's hilarious how cocky you are, Terry, that you're just
I'm not being cocky.
You're overly confident you're going to win.
I'm not confident. I'm confident we're going to fluke it, yeah. I'm not saying we're better than you. That's not confidence. That's just, I see it being one of them judge games.
You was like, I'm not even worried. I don't even have to talk about it. I just think we're going to win. You know,
I didn't sound not worried. I didn't. What's all this? When am I doing this? When did I turn into Del Boy? I know I'm a Cockney, but Jesus. A little bit of this. Half a pound, man. What are you doing there?
I haven't seen anyone, any Tottenham fans going around saying, this is going to be easy. We're going to beat them. Not at all. And Ange certainly won't allow complacency within the team.
No, but you just said you'd be embarrassed if you don't beat them. So isn't that the same thing?
No, I will be gutted for our manager because he's better and our team is better. I said, but we're still going to Old Trafford at the end of the day.
Well, you definitely said the word embarrassed.
You said embarrassed the first time round, and then when you were explaining yourself, you then said
arrange.
Okay.
Yeah, Jimbo. She's getting lost, Jimbo. Sort it out, Jim.
Ten Hag is crap, right, at the end of the day. But like I said, I haven't seen any Tottenham fans giving it large, saying, this is going to be easy. We're going to walk it. We should beat them. We know where we are. Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal, you all think you're better than you are. Tottenham fans, we know where we are, apart from the few that come on the fan reactions that think we're better than we are. But the majority of us know we're at the start of a project and we're building. So, we take each game as it comes. If Van der Ven's back, it's massive. If Dragusin signs and he's playing, it's massive for us.
Højlund is bagging.
Højlund.
Hey, if you're a betting man, I'm not going to lie. Betting man. No, Kobe Mino's first Premier League goal this weekend. What you lot saying?
Big up. Listen, you want to put a little flutter on?
Drop that. Cheeky tenner.
Use BetMGM as sponsors today. I think if you top up like 10 quid, they give you £40 free as well. But Golden Goals is free to play, so make sure you sign up to that. Viewers, let us know your thoughts and your feelings and your score predictions. We'll get to them a little bit later. Terry, I love you, mate, but you do talk some waffle. So It's all right, Jim. We'll have. I did say this to Kate earlier. If we beat you, I'm taking you out for a night on the Tam, Jimbo. We're not going to tell the missus where you're going. We're going to have a right good night, mate. We're going to have a right good night. Before we move on from Man United, of course, Jadon Sancho has rejoined Dortmund. Thoughts on that? He said that he feels like he's at home. Do you guys think he's coming back to United in the summer with a new manager? Or do you think that is it? It's done, it's dusted, it's over for Jadon at Manchester United?
Maybe
it all depends.
Yeah, it depends on who the manager is and that. The problem that you've got is there's a lot of United fans out there, who feel that Sancho has massively disrespected the football club. And would they allow him back? Now, I think it's more complex than that. I think Ten Hag was absolutely in the wrong to call out Sancho like he did. And Sancho had every right, as does everybody, to defend himself. And that was the fault of Ten Hag. He handled it really badly. But there's a lot of United fans out there who don't like Sancho for what he's done. Sancho's a great football player, I see a lot of people disrespect him, saying he's average. I don't think he is. I think he's a top football player. He just needs to play in a team that plays the style of football that he wants to play, which I don't think was United at the time, although Ten Hag should be playing better football. But I don't know, this whole situation is hilarious. United are paying 100 grand of his wages? I mean, that's just funny. You know, big W's for Dortmund. Sold him for what, 70, 80 million quid, then getting back on a loan a couple of years later. I mean, they played a blinder. So another shocking sort of transfer from United. But this sort of sums up Man United since Fergie left, really. You know what I mean? Just spending money on players that don't really work. The whole situation is just a disaster. They've now sent him back to the club they bought him for on loan. They're paying some of his wages, falling out with the manager, and you've got a bit of a split in your fan base about what to do with the player. So who knows what's going to happen? I would say this about that. The answer to the question is this, Terry. Who knows what's going to happen with Manchester United? Because your club is just such up and down. No one knows what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone in 6 months' time. So, I don't know. But if I was a United fan, I'd want him to come back because I think he's a mint player, personally.
I know what's happening Sunday. We're beating Tottenham. So I know that much what's happening at United. And now, listen, I think what you've said there about the deal is interesting because the fee that we're getting for him basically covers his wages. So it's all a little bit weird. They're paying us a fee, but we're still paying some of his wages. But when you actually add up what we're paying and what they're giving us, it works out that it's costing us nothing. It's a bit strange, really. I just don't see why we didn't do no fee and they covered his wages. It's all a bit weird, but I agree. Anything could happen. We have no idea where our manager's going to be. Sorry, go on, mate. Go on.
There's a small minority of United fans that, you know what, don't care about and don't want it to do well. But for me, you'd just be idiotic to think that, because I think it's in United fans' best interest that he does well for both reasons. He goes where he does well. You can come back. If you want to sell him, you kind of protect his value. And you can sell him for, I don't think you'll be able to sell him for what you bought him for, but it could be in and around that mark, maybe 10, 20 million less. And then if you don't sell him, he comes back. Let's be honest, the inevitable will happen. Ten Hag won't be United manager in the summer. You could get, for example, I'm not saying put your point, Potter. Let's say Ineos spoke about having a British core, etc. Let's say a Potter does come in. I feel like, one, he's a Potter player, and two, sometimes you just need that arm around you, because we know Ten Hag's man management is poor. If you sign a manager that has good man management, arm around Sancho, that look, block out the noise, forget about what the United fans are saying. You're my main man. You're gonna start. I put my confidence in you. Sometimes you need that. So either way, I think it's a win-win for United. Goes away, does well, you can sell him. Comes back, does well. Hopefully, he can transcend the form from Dortmund into the United team. But that's with another manager. But they're never always. Yeah.
Rums. The reality is what Ten Hag has done is given Jadon Sancho the best excuse about his Man U career ever by giving him this get out. Because I believe if Ten Hag didn't make that statement, Sancho would have hung himself anyway eventually, and there would be no doubts about him. Because hold on. Because I believe, I think LB, correct me if I'm wrong. I think when he was at City, he was a little bit disruptive, which is why they were comfortable in letting him go. He went to Dortmund away from all the man them. Got to focus on football, started putting up great numbers, came back to England, making 300 racks a week with the man them around again. And he just lost. He lost his way. Look, we saw in his play, he lost his way. And I just don't believe in England he's going to cope, because he doesn't know how to operate with his circle around him. But Man U have given him an excuse. He goes and bads up Dortmund. So then it looks like, oh, it was Man U that wasn't right for him. Where reality is he would have hung himself anyway. So I don't see him coming back to Man United. What's the point?
Spot on, bro.
It's so interesting what you said there, Roms, because I want him to be a success for Man United's sake. If he does well for himself, I'm happy for him, because I don't really do. I was angry with a lot of his performances for us ever before this situation with Ten Hag. I've called him out when he needed to be called out. I praise him when he needed to be praised. I'm not going to rewrite history. He hasn't been a good enough signing for us. That's the long and the short of it. But equally, that doesn't mean Ten Hag handled the situation well. My problem with this whole scenario, it's some people have rewritten his history at the club like he was banging and killing it for us and suddenly he was out the team. And then others are completely defending Ten Hag because Sancho wasn't great for us. And I don't think whether it's the best player in the team or the worst player, they should be treated with respect and properly, and we shouldn't be out in their dirty linen in public. It's an absolute disaster for Man United from the purchase right through till now, because it hasn't worked the way he's leaving. The very least, I want him to do well, because we'll be able to sell him and get a bit more money. Anyone wishing bad on him, if you believe your wishes are going to come true in this, all you're actually doing is damaging Man United further. And I want this to be best resolved for Man United. I'd like Sancho to go and do well, but I want the best result for Man United in everything that we do. And I do think fans have become a little bit lost in that. At my club especially, there is always an ideology for fans to get what they want rather than what's best for the football club. And I think that listen, I'm not being funny. Most of our managers and most of our players have that kind of attitude as well. Like, what's best for me as opposed to what's best for Manchester United. And we're very rarely galvanized. We will be galvanized this Sunday when we beat Tottenham. But outside of that, it's
Terry,
it's
you know what's funny? The way you're going on, you wouldn't think you're normally the guy that says football gods, football gods.
Nah, Robs, let him land, man. Let him land, man.
Yeah.
Let him land.
Honestly, the more I think about it, the more I think we're going to smash them.
Hey, Terry, relax, man. Relax.
Smash them, bro.
Anyway,
Ruining them.
score draw is
4-0.
what I want, anyway.
4-0. United.
Oh, man.
Hoyland hat-trick. Mickey van der Ven go home. And Ivan Drago, fuck off.
Terry, you're going to get Sean Millis. You're going to get Sean Millis saying, Hoyland, you done it. Hoyland.
Good day, Hoyland. Yeah, no, it's I'm glad Sancho's gone, though. For him, for us, for everybody. And we'll see. He might come back, and you never know. Terry's drunk, and I'm not drunk. It's cool.
Let me ask you a question, Terry. Yeah? Would you have him back? So, say he does well at Dortmund. Would you have him back, or do you think he's disrespected your football club to the point where you think that no, you don't want him back? Because there's a lot of United fans, Terry. And I'm sure you've seen it in the chat and spoke to your mates. There's a lot of United fans that don't want him back, regardless of what he does at Dortmund. Where are you on this?
I'd have him back if it made the team better. I'd have him back if the team became better. If there's a genuine belief we're going to get the best out of him, I'd have him back. And I say that because look through the history of football. I remember when Man United fans and City fans united in Manchester and burnt Tevez shirts when he refused to come on the pitch. A few months later, when you guys looked like you were going to throw the league away to us, please come back, Tevez, please. He came back and he was influential and you guys pipping us. I mean, Aguero gets the fame for that league title, but if Tevez hadn't returned a few games earlier, could have been different. He's a bigger legend than Sancho will probably ever be. But people often talk about how people disrespect the club. Jules Best spent 2 weeks not training in a hotel room drunk with Miss Worlds instead of turning up to training, and we still sing his name. So my point is there are certain things you can do to a club and you can still redeem yourself. If he comes back and starts scoring, starts assisting, starts helping us win, everything will be forgotten. Football fans, all of us on this panel and everyone, we are fickle beings. We are. We're as fickle as the day is long. So for me, I want the best outcome for my club. Do I think he'll deliver at Man United? No. I just think the pressure of it, the issues. But if someone said to me he's going to be a brilliant player for Man United, would you have him back? Yes, because I want my team to improve. And Man United winning is more. Again, he's done nothing sinister. Do you know what I'm saying? He hasn't done anything illegal. I'd have him back. Yeah, if he's going to score goals for us and win, yeah, I'd have him back. I've got no personal issue with Jadon Sancho whatsoever, in no way, shape, or form. I hated some of his performances, but I don't dislike the man. So, yeah, listen, the club has burnt and ruined so many players. From Anthony Martial to Paul Pogba to Rashford to Sancho. The club is accountable for that. There's too many victims for me to believe it's always the player that's the problem. It's always their attitude that's the problem. The club is a toxic cesspool. So if we can fix that and bring someone like Sancho back and get the best out of him, I'm all for it personally, yeah.
Okay.
There's only one Man United player currently not with the squad that I don't want back, and that's a very, very different conversation whatsoever that we're not having today. Let's have a look at some of these comments here. Okay, I've already done those ones from Jimbo. I know this was going to happen. The New England Patriots part ways with my favourite coach. Take note, Arsenal. Phase, what the hell is that? I didn't know about that, to be fair. I did read about a basketball coach who got a new contract yesterday after his divorce settled. Legends. Loved it. That's great. Terry, I clipped you, Arsenal man, bottom row sweating.
Sorry, Lagos is hot and my AC is playing up. Sorry, please don't kill me, I beg.
There we go. Moving on. Don. Listen, what happened at the weekend, Don? Sorry, what happened midweek against you didn't show up to the match reaction. You said, I was out with friends. You ain't got any friends. Where were you, Don, after you got beat by Middlesbrough, 12th place Middlesbrough, with 14 injuries, and Mickey Carrick, man like Hackney, beating you? Like, give me your thoughts to losing that game, bro.
Yeah. First of all, I wasn't hiding anywhere. You guys know I'm here. Win, loss, draw. I messaged KJ in the morning. I said, I'm watching the game with my boys. I was getting cooked in person. Yeah, I'm sure the chat will be happy to know I was getting cooked by my boys.
And right,
it was
so.
it was long. It was long, innit? But bro, let me just talk about the players first of all. Yeah, like look, we were very complacent. We turned up as if we're gonna beat Middlesbrough just because we played for Chelsea. Do you know what I'm saying? It was bad. I think it was worse than Preston. We couldn't put 2 passes together. It was just a shit show from every single person. Palmer, I can't blame Poch for those misses. But overall, bro, this Pochettino guy, how long have I been banging on about him, complaining about him every single week? This guy is just killing us, killing Levi Colwill, constantly playing him at left back to the point now where Michael Carrick literally said we targeted that side. Every single team we're facing now is targeting that side. Olise doing him up, right? When we played Spurs, doing him up, right? The other week against Brighton, for one of the headers that at least they go. Cole was at fault for one of those goals there. Constantly now, guys are targeting that side because they can see that he's not comfortable in that position, and it's on the manager. Do you know what I mean? Playing Palmer in the false 9 when the game before that, bro, just scored a goal. What are you thinking doing that? I haven't seen Cole Palmer in the false 9 since we played Arsenal back in October. Do you know what I'm saying? Right, taking off Enzo in the second half when he was the only midfielder that looked like he could get his foot on the ball and try and make something happen, and you leave your puppy Gallagher on the pitch to just run around and keep losing the ball. You put him back in the pivot. Do you know what I'm saying? Madueke taking him off, keeping Sterling on for 90 minutes. This manager's just absolutely lost it. And week by week,
what do you mean, puppy?
it's
You call him XL bully the other day. Don't call him a puppy.
bro, he's still an XL bully, man. Like when he's running off the ball, in it, yeah. But on the ball, everyone can see exactly why I keep going on about Gallagher, playing every single game. Because when you need to break down teams, bro, the guy just doesn't have the quality, man. Right now, I'm looking at a team that have no cohesion, no chemistry. If you remember early on in the season, I spoke to Hannah Terry. She was saying, you've got to give this guy time things aren't going to happen overnight. And I literally said on that show in the top 6, I said, listen, it don't matter how much time you're giving this guy. If you keep playing guys out of position, you will never build the cohesion that you need to. You will never be able to play the way that you need to because guys are just imbalanced. It's an imbalanced lineup. Do you know what I mean? The players aren't going to play well. I'm not seeing patterns
Poch
anymore.
making errors, bro. Poch making mistakes, bro. The guy that you backed for third place,
let me keep cooking this guy, man. Let me keep cooking this guy, man. You can come in after, yeah. I'm not seeing, I wasn't seeing consistent patterns anymore. Some of the chances that we had the other day were from individual mistakes, apart from one chance that Caicedo created for Palmer. Other than that, bro, this manager's clueless, man. He's got a bunch of players that are, he's making them look worse than what they are because he's not using them correctly. Do you know what I'm saying? So if we lose to Middlesbrough, he has to get sacked. And I'm going to say it now, Terry, for me, this is a heavy strike. My first strike was against United because we should have won that game. Yeah, I don't care if people say it's Old Trafford and that. Plenty of teams have gone Old Trafford this season and won, right? We should have beaten you lot. And he made Ten Hag look like Heisenberg because tactically he just done him, right? And Middlesbrough, to lose to them, a mid-table side with 14 injuries. They got 2 injuries in the first half as well. To lose to that, nah, man, that's second strike for me. So if he loses against Middlesbrough and we don't make it to the final, he has to go for me. He has to go. He's treading on thin ice. And the only reason why I haven't said Poch out yet is because I still can't ignore the amount of injuries that we've had all season. That's the only reason why I've been a little bit more, lenient, right? And even then, I still think we've had enough to win these games. Do you know what I'm saying? But for me, bro, this guy, man, if he gets sacked, I'll be happy. I'll be real. But for me, he's on a heavy strike 2 right now, man. Heavy strike 2 because he has not been good enough.
You're very generous, Don. I gotta say that, bro. Because you should be raging at this guy. Yeah, for me, I think. Yeah, I know, bro, but you're giving him more time. I just think the guys. I've said it for a long time. I think he's well overrated. This manager. I think he's proper overrated. I think you're starting to see that he's not all that everyone thinks he is. Yeah.
He's good with the youth, LB. He's good with the youth.
Yeah,
they told us.
Again, Kunle, what is this? Good with the youth. What do you get trophies for this? This is a joke, man. Chelsea are 10th. 10th. Why is no what that? There should be riots in the street, man. I spent £1 billion, and I know they've had a few injuries and that, like fair play, but we've all had injuries, man. All our teams on this panel have had injuries, and they're 10th. I'm still hearing some Chelsea fans. I know Don's close, but like backing this guy, it's a joke. I don't know what Chelsea used to be the most ruthless football club in this country. They did, didn't they? Under Roman, they used to be the most ruthless football. If you don't even win the league, you could finish second, yeah? You're gone. Sin a bit, pal. And now they're 10th. I don't know what has happened to some of these Chelsea fans, man. You guys used to be a different breed, yeah? And now you've all just mellowed, man. You're
Nah,
just top
LB,
and chilling.
most of the fan base want him out, bro. Most of the fan base want him out, and I don't blame them. There's
But
literally,
that's only
he
like
hasn't-
recently, last couple of weeks, bro. I remember a month ago. Nah,
Mm.
bro, we would do the show even like maybe 4 weeks ago, and I said Chelsea in crisis. You were sitting there saying no, they weren't, and I said yeah, they were. They were doing 10th. So you've only just started to come round
Talking
to
about
this thing as
attractive
well.
projects and all that, Don. You're
Yeah, but
telling me attractive projects.
the reason why is because, like I said, look, right now, obviously, I'm not going to be one of these guys that say, "Oh, who's around? Like, why can't we get rid of this guy?" Yeah, because end of the day, if he's not good enough, he's got to go. We got to think of that after, right? Or be proactive right now and think of who you can bring in. But for me, like I've said, I still can't ignore the amount of injuries that we've had in total, right? And I'm not using that as an excuse because I haven't used it once. All I'm saying is there's a lot of players that this guy's been missing, right? And I would like for them to be fit at some point so he can start to use them and stop using that as an excuse, because I know right now they're not going to sack him. But there's certain games and there's certain opponents that you can't be losing to. That's why I think for me it's unacceptable. I said that when we played before we played. Hold on, Roms, yeah. Before we played Sheffield, I said LB. I literally said if we lose to Sheffield at home, for me he has to get sacked. And that was when I was on strike one. I was about to skip some strikes for this guy. Do you know what I'm saying? Middlesbrough, bro. If he loses that game, he has to go. I don't care about injuries under that shit. He has to go for me. Do you get it? And this weekend, I'm watching it closely again, bro. Against Fulham. I'm watching it closely.
Just before you go, there's a saying, right? Definition of insanity: keep doing the same thing and expect to get different results. The fact he continually plays players out of position, which you've said many times on his show, isn't that enough for you? That he's not even learning his own lesson. At least, look, I know you've had a lot of injuries, as we all have, but at least another manager would you like to think would at least play players in their position. Isn't that enough in itself? That's a sackable offense in itself, that he keeps playing players out of position and they're not playing well.
I agree with you. Yeah. But the thing is, even the other day, people were complaining about Maatsen, or why didn't you start Maatsen? Maatsen was literally on the verge of joining Dortmund. Right now, yeah, Ben Chilwell was back in training, but he's not fit. Cucurella's injured. So the only left back that we have really is either you play Gusto there or you play Levi there. Do you get it? We literally, or you go to the youth team players. That's what you've got to do. And how many managers go and do that? How many managers go and do that? Do you know what I mean? So I have to look at that. I can't ignore that. I don't want to see Levi there. What I've said right now, yeah, is if we don't sign a left back in January, we are in serious trouble, because Levi Cole will play in there, bro. It's a serious hazard. Serious hazard.
Look, hold on. One second, bro.
Maybe change the formation so Levi doesn't have to play there.
One second.
Carry on.
I was saying, maybe then. Oh, go on, Kunle.
Now, this Chelsea thing it's crazy. Like, when I think of Chelsea, I think Wahala everywhere. And this Wahala did not start last night or a couple of nights ago. It started at the start of the season when Chelsea fans became Explanation FC. Everything the club did, they had the explanation, explain. They had all sorts of explanations for us, saying, we don't need to do the rebuild like other teams. We can speed it up, spending $1 billion and all this. And Poch is good with the youth. And when Nkunku comes back, boy, he's like he came in and left just like so super fast. So look, the reality is Chelsea are rubbish. And the fans just need to understand that they are rubbish. Whether they change the manager right now, it's not going to change. Like, at best, you'll finish, 8th, 7th? Like, it's still a mess right now. Like, the problems are just consistent. They've created a situation where no matter who comes in, they're going to have Wahala. That's it. That's the reality of it. And at one point, these Chelsea fans need to understand we got to sit tight and endure the pain and suffering for a duration of time before we come out smooth. And that's the reality of it. And hold on. I'm not saying you have to do it with Poch. I'm not saying Poch is the guy you bear through the pain and suffering with, but you lot got to make a decision with somebody, because it's going to keep recycling itself over and over again. And you'll be getting AUTOGLASS back as your sponsor. It's long. So just ride it out.
Let me just say something. Let me ask you a question then, yeah? Let me ask you a question. When Arteta plays Kivior left back, what do you think of that? What do you think of that when he plays Kivior left back?
It's a stupid decision.
And what happens every time he plays Kivior left back?
Well, he gets cooked.
So then how could you come out here and start talking about our team as if every single player has been played?
Bro, what does Arteta have to do with Chelsea? I don't understand.
The point that I'm making is that your manager has played someone out of position multiple times and your fan base don't like it.
But he's not 10th, my brother. He's not in 10th place. That is the issue here. He's not losing to Middlesbrough with 13 injuries. Bro, there's a big difference now. 14 injuries. Sorry, I stand corrected.
The point, you're missing the point that I'm making, because you just want to just get on this.
Please, okay, what is the point? Please, let us educate us.
I'm saying every
educate
single
us.
time your manager has played Kivior out of position, right? Especially in this running, one win in 7 games, he has not looked good. Like you just said, he's been getting cooked there. Now, my manager's been doing that with multiple players, bro. Multiple players. So how do you expect them to play well, bro, when they're being constantly played out of position? And we're not talking about seasoned pros, that have been playing together for years. We're talking about a young team that you kept banging on about in the summer, saying they're young, you need experience. We all agreed with that, right? But right now, you've got a young team and you're overcomplicating things for them. So how do you expect them to play well together, bro? It doesn't make any sense to me. And I said this at the beginning of the season. I'm not surprised.
But isn't that the point? Isn't that the point that everyone's saying? You used to be ruthless. A manager making this amount of mistakes should be cut, and you shouldn't be making the excuses for him. Because it's an excuse.
I'm not making
to go, I want to see what Poch can do when he stops making mistakes.
No. I didn't say that.
I'm not going to talk about injuries, but I'm going to talk about injuries.
No. What I said is I want more people to come back from injury, so this guy can stop running to that excuse. Yeah, even with these guys, when they've been out, like I've been saying, our team, we've got 1 game a week. We've had more than enough. Even with these players, he still hasn't been doing enough. But he keeps running to that excuse. And I know they're not going to sack him right now, bro. I know that. But like I said, losing to Middlesbrough and losing to Man United is unacceptable, bro. Unacceptable.
Can I ask a question? Let me throw you this question. Are the likes of Enzo?
Mo just keeps doing this, but he's capping. He's capping. But anyway, carry on, Terry.
He's not capping. We have the receipts.
Someone send me a receipt. I'll play it.
Play it, bro.
Are Enzo and Caicedo good enough? Is it a case, because what I'm hearing a lot of, and I understand it, Poch problems. Is there a possibility that some of these young, talented players that we all, by the way, were like, wow, what a signing? Is there a possibility that they are just not good enough?
Yes, 100%.
Nah, man.
100%. No. Let me tell you. No, Don, you are factually incorrect there. I'll tell you why you're incorrect. Yeah, because football, that's not how football works. You don't just buy all the young 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, and then watch them develop. Some of them won't turn out to be good footballers. That's not how football works. Otherwise, everyone would just do that. Football, all the managers would have just carried on doing that. Why do managers buy the best player? Why do managers buy better players who are a bit more experienced? Because that's what you need. You can't just go and buy the best young players. This Caicedo guy, played 18 months in the Premier League. There is no guarantee that he will turn out to be a world-class player. And when you're spending 100 million quid plus, he needs to be a world-class player. Now, Enzo, I think Enzo's a great footballer. I think he needs to be in a great system. I think you put Enzo in, like the Argentina team, for example, great player. I think you put him in the City team, great player. If you throw him into Chelsea, I don't think you're seeing the best of him. I think maybe you're getting an okay, but I still think there's major levels there. You know, it's the same with a lot of these players. There is absolutely no guarantee that these players that you've shelled out loads of money for are going to turn out to be good players. Otherwise, everyone would have just done that in the history of time. Everyone, instead of signing the more experienced player, why don't you just go and sign a young 20-year-old? They don't do that because it doesn't work. Sometimes you'll get flops. So I don't think so.
Yeah, Lewis, I get what you're saying, LB, but for me, like I said, this season, Enzo Fernandez has been played as a 10. I've been seeing Enzo Fernandez overlapping at left wing. How can Graham Potter and Frank Lampard use Enzo Fernandez better than this guy that's supposed to have a lot more experience? Enzo came in last year in January and was our best player. It wasn't even a debate. Yeah, I was seeing Enzo balling last season, bro. This year he's come in, he's being misprofiled. He's not being used correctly. Do you know what I mean? He hasn't been used correctly. And I'm not saying that Enzo,
was Enzo balling though last season, Don? Was he?
Yes, he was. If you watched our games, you would see that he was our best player. Yeah, it was comfortable.
Yeah, but that's not difficult. You finished 12th, bro. So that.
Yeah, but is Enzo supposed to score, defend?
No, I'm just saying, like, what was so good that Enzo did for you when he came in? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
You should have watched our games. He was progressing us from A to B.
I was watching, but I just didn't see what you saw.
Okay, that's fine. But there's 1,000,001 Chelsea fans and rivals that will tell you Enzo was balling last season. So you can try cooking as much as you want.
Please chat. Let us know. And
the stats don't even lie. If you go check his progressive stats from last season in comparison to this year, they've dropped. Like what Poch has done this year is the equivalent of using Tony Cruz in a 10. You would never use Cruz in a 10. So why using Enzo in a 10 majority of the season, bro? It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? He hasn't been used correctly. Yeah, and Caicedo, bro, recently I've been seeing the Caicedo that I've been seeing at Brighton, even though he's been playing as a lone 6 pretty much. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, yeah, Mo can keep saying balling this, that. Enzo Fernandez is a team game. He done his job last year, and you had a bunch of clowns that kept.
Don. This is where I'll chime in and back you at with Enzo. Yeah, they finished 12th, but I saw players that Havertz, I saw players like Aubameyang, saw players like Mason Mount, where they were robbing him. I saw Enzo create chances for these players, and they couldn't finish their dinner. But obviously, no one's going to, if they can't finish their dinner, Enzo's not going to get the credit for that. So to be fair to them, yeah, Chelsea were poor overall last season. We all know that. But Enzo did have the better performances. This, I must say, I think is a bit disingenuous. But this season, you can't defend him.
I agree. Like I said, he's been average this season, but I can't ignore the fact that our manager's got this guy running around as if he's flipping Gallagher, and he's not that. he's trying to get our team to play like Liverpool, and we've got technical players, right?
What about Caicedo? I mean, he hasn't been great. The goal against Middlesbrough was a huge component, was down to him not staying with his runner. Do you feel like you've had enough out of that £100+ million player?
We haven't seen the 100 million yet. We haven't had the value for money yet, but I think people overdo it with this Caicedo thing. Like he's been poor the whole season. He really hasn't. He had a poor start to the season, and he slowly started to pick it up. And especially in the last, I'll probably say month and a bit, I've been seeing the Caicedo that I was seeing at Brighton. I'll be real with you. And like I said to you, Terry, right now the way our setup is in the midfield, every single person is far from this guy. He picks up the ball, he looks up. You've got Enzo Fernandez over there, you've got Gallagher over there, you've got Cole Palmer over there.
Okay, I'm as confused as you.
Whereas at Brighton, he always had someone close to him. Do you know what I'm saying? So when people talk about Caicedo, even the other day against Luton, yeah, who got that pre-assist for Colwell? You're not watching the games if you think Caicedo's been poor recently. You're really not because he's picked it up. But I'll be real. We haven't seen the 150 million that we paid for, but he hasn't been as bad as what people are saying.
What are you saying, Kate? That you got a mum face on right now. You're on mute. You're on mute.
I just love that Agent Poch is doing the Lord's work and Chelsea is struggling. I could just drink Don's tears all day long. And what makes me crease even more is that, Don, I love you to bits, but you defend every player like they're so good. Well, why are you so crap then? I don't understand.
I'm not defending Kate. Where did I say?
Talk on it, Kate, please.
Kate, this is the thing.
No, don't interrupt her. Kate, continue. Sorry.
No, because I have to come in here for a sec, Kate. I'll let you land, yeah? People need to literally comprehend what I'm saying. I'm not saying Caicedo has been a 115 million player. All I'm saying is he hasn't been as bad as what people are making him out to be. I'm seeing on Sky Sports the other day he's underperforming and all of these things. Bro, have you been watching our games recently, bro? Or majority of the season? Caicedo started off poorly, yes. But if you watch our games, Caicedo is one of the few players that's been picking it up, especially the past month and a bit. I'll be real with you.
But Don, you also reckon Mudrik's been playing well this season, man. Like, what are we doing here, bro? Like, what's going on?
We haven't seen 150 million worth of the money that we paid for, but people overdo it, is what I'm saying. People overdo it. But carry on.
Price tags, your players are they're just shit at the moment. You can defend them all you like and say we haven't seen this amount of money, we haven't seen 115 million. Your team are just a shambles, but you'll come on here and you'll defend them and say they're brilliant and Enzo's a baller. No, he's not. And you're justifying that someone's good because they've got a pre-assist. Since when is a pre-assist?
You know what as well? Do you know what as well?
What you're saying? Whenever I come on here raving about these players, I'm confused.
You know what it's done? Listen, your team
every week, bro. Every week.
That's a lie. That's a lie because you need to watch my fan cams.
Every single week, bro.
I've been cooking these man pretty much.
Do you know? I've got a question for you, Don. Don, are you the long lost child of Robert Kardashian? Because
people are capping.
You could have got OJ off as well, bro. I'm telling you.
Johnny Cochran's son, bro.
No. Apparently, I'm saying Enzo's balling in this is that. The first thing I said is the other day, these lot are treating the ball like a hot potato. But Kate's hearing something else. I don't understand. You lot
defend Enzo every time I come on here and people criticize him. You defend him every time.
I literally agree with you. He's been underpaid this season.
We've overpaid and he's not very good. But you don't. You defend him and you're trying to heel for him, and he isn't very good.
And you just did the same thing with Caicedo, bro.
I'm not going to be gaslighted into you lot making me think that Enzo's a bad player when I've seen what he was doing last season when he was used correctly.
It's not gaslighting if it's true, though, Don. That's why I don't understand that. Are you not getting this, bro?
You can't trick what my eyes have been showing me with Enzo the time that he's been at
Chelsea. Bro, our eyes can see your 10th also in the table. Our eyes do not lie about that one, Abby.
Roms is a neutral. He literally just said to you last season, this guy was balling out. This guy was balling out last season, yeah? This year, you've got the guy running around in the 10. Would you ever use Tony Cruz in the 10? Would you ever use him in the 10? We've got our manager using him in the 10. I'm seeing tweets coming out from 2021 from PSG. Apparently, Poch was using Messi as a DM. I didn't even know this. Kimpembe as a right back. Come
Yo,
on,
when did you sign Enzo again? It was January, innit? It was basically a year ago.
Last January, bro. We signed him in January.
One thing I'll say, right?
Yeah, he won the World Cup and he retired, bro. It's a madness. I'm telling you.
We all know in football that the rest of the players around you could be poor. As a collective, you can be poor, but you can still stand out, and you should stand out even more if everyone around you drops. Like, I look at United, right? Terry would know. Their midfield is piss poor, but you see Kobe Mino going to that team. He looks levels above everyone else. And as much as everyone around is poor, you see his quality shines. And this is what your Caicedo, your Enzos need to start showing now. Because, yeah, everyone around you can be poor, but they need to raise the level. You're brought in for this money. It's time to raise it.
Roms, your legend literally done a whole 3-minute monologue talking about, this guy's going to be a world-class player. The first game we played, you lot, what was Enzo doing in that game? Huh? What did he do to Szoboszlai and these men? Did you get it? When he was used correctly. And then after that, you want to try and build. Yeah, but I'm telling you what he can do when he's used correctly, Kate. The guy has not been used correctly majority of the season. You can't ignore these things. I'm sorry, you can't.
But then, Don, what I'm trying to say to you is he's not been used correctly, but then he has to take it upon himself to still do as much as he can. And I think as neutrals, we would, as rivals, we'll still notice that. That's
but guess what, Rob? The problem.
And that's what Palmer's doing,
no?
no?
Hold on.
That's what Palmer's doing.
That's what Palmer's doing. No matter where you play him, he plays well, bro. No matter where you play him, he plays well, bro.
Hold on. Yeah, but not every player is the same. That's first of all, yeah. And
no, but we're just giving you an example in your own club of a player that's shining when your team are in 10th. Okay, that's what we're trying to do, though.
We can all acknowledge that these lot are young. Hold on. We can all acknowledge that these lot are young. Now, Roms, you're saying, Enzo should be able to basically step into any position and ball out the way he was balling out last season. But we've all said that they're young. And I've literally told you that these lot are young players and they're all being played. Majority of them are being played out of position. How do you expect to see the best out of Enzo when you're doing that with young players? It's not like you're playing Enzo in a position he's not familiar with in a Man City that already have a system that's being built. Do you know what I mean? It's hard, bro. It's not being easy for these young players.
The players around him are young and they might not be as good, but we'll still be able to tell if he's playing well himself. He would shine. The fact everyone around him is poor, this is my overarching point. He would shine through that.
Bro, you can't say it's not been easy for these players. Oh, come on, bro. No, get the violins out, chat. Violins in the chat, man.
No,
come on, it's not been
literally,
easy.
bro.
You can't. I'm sorry, you can't ignore these things, man. This manager's been putting out an imbalanced lineup, playing Enzo in the 10, like I've said.
No, I agree. I agree, bro.
And you want me to just ignore that?
No. Listen, here's where I'm at. Yeah. Hold tight, dropping on Spotify next week. No, here's the thing, Don. Yeah, okay. So the manager is getting this horribly wrong, and the manager, in my opinion, should be sacked. He should have been sacked a long time ago, in my opinion. In fact, I wouldn't even give him the job in the first place. But these players also need to do more. Now, you could argue it's on the manager to get them, but Kunle's right. You've got a player like Palmer who's standing out in games. You've got other players that are not really standing out. So the players need to do more, right? That is absolutely fact. But I guess for me, it does still come back to the manager because ultimately he's the one that has to take the responsibility, bro. I would think you need to get back into your old Chelsea days, bro. I think you've let yourself slip. Your standards have dropped. And Don, you need to be calling this manager out and saying, get him out, bro. Why are you waiting for Middlesbrough? You're sitting there saying, if he loses against Middlesbrough, I'm Poch out. Nah, bro, you should be Poch out now.
Perhaps they've gone back to the days before they had any money when Chelsea were actually just bang average.
I've been saying it since, Kate. I've been saying it. The next 2 to 3 years, this is their portion. Man. We just got
when he does get sacked, no one can try and say Chelsea are impatient, Chelsea are this and that, because everyone here can see what this guy's been doing this season. Yeah,
so no one's gonna say that. We're just gonna laugh because you're gonna still be in a mess, bro.
Can we speak on this owner, by the way? What's he doing? Hello, that is the biggest waste of football transfer money,
bro. He's waiting for the draft, bro.
Ever.
Yeah, it's crazy. How do you think Chelsea are going to get on this weekend? They're at home to Fulham. 12:30 kickoff. What you think they'll lose, LB?
I think they'll lose, man. Fulham are a decent team. I see nothing. Yeah, these people. Someone tried to ask me the other day, you think Chelsea have turned the corner? I said, hang on a minute. Who've they played? I think they played Luton Town, Sheffield United, and someone else near. I think they got 3 wins in the last 4. And someone else near the bottom. Have a word with yourself, man. This is a club, yeah, that can't beat Middlesbrough. in the cup, and you expect them to go beat Fulham. Nah, give the respect to Fulham. Marco Silva's a good manager. They've got some good players in that Fulham team. So I'm calling a Fulham win. It's up to Chelsea.
LB genuinely sounds upset and frustrated
You know
with
what,
Chelsea.
LB?
That
You know
you
what?
genuinely
I'm
sound upset.
frustrated, Kunle. I'll tell you why I'm frustrated, yeah? I'll tell you why I'm frustrated. Because people in this country should be up in arms. They've spent £1 billion, yeah? They've not really helped the transfer market that much.
Talk on it, bro.
And you got fans justifying mediocre performances, justifying this absolute joke of a manager who's got the team 10th. And people are just chilling, man. They just spent £1 billion. They spent £1 billion.
LB, yeah.
I mean, we can.
You know what it is, yeah.
Phase one,
you know what's
LB. It's
crazy,
phase
though?
one. It's phase one,
Only
LB.
way-
It's phase one.
The only way we
You know
beat
about
it,
phases.
I was, when we
I
beat,
don't know
when we beat
anything
Fulham
about
away,
phases, bro. That's my
Bro,
fan base.
when we beat Fulham away at Craven Cottage, I was there with Charlie, big up Charlie, yeah, and that was one of our better performances this season. And a lot of that was when Enzo, Caicedo, and Gallagher were playing very, very close to each other. Do you know what I mean? You had Gallagher and Enzo alternating. You had them very, very close together. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, this game's going to be won or lost in midfield. I reckon. And if our midfield's looking disjointed again, yeah, it's long. Because even when we played them that game, yeah, Roms, Paulinho couldn't get no.
But Don, you can't do that. You can't do that. There's context because they were in bad form then, so were you. But now they're in better form. You can't just use that game.
But what I'm saying is our midfield, in my opinion, is better than their midfield. But if it's used correctly, do you get it? What I'm saying is I need these lot to be playing closer together. I'm seeing too much space in our midfield.
But Don, the sample size says your midfield won't be used correctly because your manager plays out of position. So for me, Paulina, Reed, and Pereira, I'd rather them three as a collective than your three because they're actually going to play in their positions. It's not rocket science.
No, but
Nkuku's coming back soon, though, Ram. So just don't worry about it.
It won't be this Saturday, though, so you can.
Yeah,
wait,
Rob,
is he going to return this Saturday?
I don't know, bro. He's not back.
He's out
He's not
again.
back,
Him and Lavi are both crocked.
I think you need to start mentioning. I think you need to start questioning your medical team. Like, where are all these injuries coming from? All season, by the way.
I can't lie. We haven't had.
Who's your doctor? Harold Shipman. What's going on, brother? Who's your club doctor?
I don't know what's
bruv.
I don't know what's going on. Man. Honestly, but I don't think we've had less than 7 injuries this season, the whole season, bro. We can never have a fully fit squad. Right now, a lot of our players are out. Majority of them start for us, bro. It's long. It's so long right now.
No, but Don, do you know what? The reality is, you've been saying that injury thing for the whole season, but nobody knows what your best 11 is. Nobody, as in nobody knows your best 11. So to say these people are starters, that person's starters, like your manager doesn't know, your fans don't, nobody knows your starting 11, bro. So we can't say that because
the players don't even know. They're probably thinking, who am I going to
exactly. So.
The players are confused. They sign for Chelsea and they see Conor Gallagher as your captain. They have no idea what's going on.
They're probably thinking, I thought you're supposed
to they see is signs. What they see is dollar signs.
You know what's crazy, Kunle? Yeah, what I said in the summer about Poch, I was like, bro, you're probably going to see the same 11, like the strongest 11 weekly, because we've got one game a week, even in the cup competitions. Yeah, bro. 1 week I'm seeing Disasi and Silva. 1 week I'm seeing Badiashile and Silva. 1 week I'm seeing this guy and Silva. You know what I mean? It's constant chopping and changing. It feels like Graham Potter part 2, bro. Do you know what I mean?
what's mad, Don? Your back four actually needs that rhythm. Your back four needs a consistency because that is your defense. Do you know what I mean? And the fact they're chopping and changing, I'm going to play with this week. It's crazy. It's crazy.
No, it's long. It's so long.
It's a madness. We have some super chats here. First one says Caicedo and Enzo will cook. We need the right midfielders to complement them. Gallagher ain't it, is what Gav says here. Don, whenever he's wrong, but your club, blah blah blah, is what Tony's got to say to you here.
I haven't deflected once. You're right.
You literally done that.
You did it a minute ago, bro.
You did it like 3 times tonight, bro.
Hold on. Give me your. Terry's wave.
Yeah, that's just one example. Yeah.
I asked you about Kivio because it's the same principle, bro. We're talking about football and we're talking about managers playing guys out of position. You get it? So I'm not deflecting. I'm just using an example from your club.
This here from Jack Attack says, facts LB, standards are in the gutter with our fan base. Loser mentality like Poch. He should have been sacked in the tunnel at full time. Big statement there.
They wanted Thiago Silva as manager, innit? They wanted
That Matt, so I hope you're well, Matt. He says Poch made Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe look shite.
The man played Messi as a DM, bro. What's going on here?
Don, answer
I
this.
don't diss him now, Don. You told us to get behind him, and you lot were going to finish third. Why are you dissing a man now, talking about his faults? We tried to warn you about him at the start of the season, and you didn't want to listen. You promised us.
I changed it to fourth. First of all, I said Liverpool.
Okay, sorry, fourth. Don't kill me.
Oh my god!
Sorry, my bad. Fourth, my bad.
Kunle, you need to tell me the lottery numbers, bro, because you predicted that Chilwell would pay.
Brother, I told you Kobe Maino scoring this weekend. Put a cheeky tenner, bro. Cheeky tenner.
Matt here says, Don, answer this. What does Enzo do? He can't score. He can't pass. He ghosts in big games. He can't defend. He's not physical enough for the Premier League. 106 million, by the way.
I can't lie. I signed out when he said he can't pass. This is we're talking about a guy that's leading the progressive stats in the league, right? You're telling me you can't pass? Come on, man. You're better than that. You're better than that.
Jim here says, Don, we feel so sorry for you spending 1 billion. Is what man like Jimbo's got to say here.
What, Jimbo? We're about to spend more this month. Yes.
Chelsea's doctor is being played out of position right now. Poch has him accounting and doing amortization on transfers. I wouldn't be surprised. I've already done that super chat. Who's BM?
Bayern Munich.
Oh, Bayern Munich win the Champions League. Should Arsenal make a play for Harry Kane? What?
Why would he go there?
Thanks for the super chat, Nigel. Thanks for the super
Nigel,
chat.
it would never, ever happen. I wanted him gone on the 28th of October. He's a coward. Who'd you play on the 28th of October?
He is a coward. Was that Arsenal game?
28th of October was...
Wait, so Dom, what are they saying?
Brentford.
You want a coward in charge of your club.
Bro, listen, I'm on the verge, Roms. I'm on the verge, bro, honestly.
That Arsenal podcast says, what did people expect taking a Spurs reject to try and get back the glory days? Little shot there at Tottenham as well. Little shot there. We'll come back to score predictions later when we do golden goals. Get the app downloaded now. Your chance to win £2 million this weekend. What a great treat that will be for the new year. It's free to play golden goals. You get the 6 score predictions right. It's £2 million. It's that easy. Get it downloaded now. You've got to be over the age of 18 though, but get that downloaded. Arsenal. Struggling at the moment. The fans, I'll be honest with you, trying to find an Arsenal fan tonight was like looking for rocking horse shit. Couldn't find it. The amount of people that were busy, unbelievable. Big up yourself for coming on, though, bruv. Linked with another player today in Zubimendi. Do you guys need to buy this window? Do you think, as an Arsenal fan, you're actually going to improve that squad?
Terry.
And if so, is Zubimendi the guy?
I've been waiting for this.
So my head is hurting. I'm not going to lie to you. And the reason why my head is hurting is because, yes, we need to recruit this January, but the 2 midfielders that I've seen us linked with, for me personally, they're not what we need. Zubimendi's a better option than Onana because I believe he can do more with the ball than Onana can. But Zubimendi's not. He makes us a bit better, but he's just like a little bit better than Jorginho for me, man. I need a box to box. I need someone that can make late runs into the box and give us a few goals from midfield as well. But also someone who's better defensively than Kai Havertz. And I don't think this guy is the answer personally, but our manager needs the board to save him and bail him out this January. Because if he doesn't add to this squad, there's no title challenge. And that's not me saying that there's going to be excuses for him, because he has to make it work regardless whether we get someone in or not, because he fumbled with Kai Havertz, and that's something he's going to have to live with.
What are you saying then, Kunle? Top 4 race? If there's no title challenge, just top 4 race?
Ask me at the end of the window, then I'll give you my answer.
Fair.
That's the reality, because look, it's only a crisis. If the window ends today, Arsenal are in crisis. But the sheer fact that the window is still open, I've got to remain hopeful that the board will somehow bail this man out, because that's what they need to do. And if they don't, it's going to be a long day.
I've got a question for you, because ideally you need both. You need a midfielder, speak about, you need a number 9. But let's say you could only pick one of those positions. What would you rather your club sign?
Me personally, I'll pick a midfielder. I know a lot of people are going to understand it because we've been toothless in front of goal. But for me, I just need to fix that midfield because it's been off for me all season. Havertz, or no, let me make this better. Not replacing Xhaka has disrupted our midfield. Let me not put all the pressure on the Kai Havertz. Let's say not replacing Xhaka has disrupted our midfield because I've heard our whole fan base like act surprised about Zinchenko's defensive frailties, like they weren't here last season. It's always been there, but because Havertz is there instead of Xhaka, it just looks worse. That was always the area that I was most scared of. Zinchenko and Havertz on the same side, and it's been a nightmare because he's been even more exposed in that situation. So for me, that midfielder needs to be fixed because at least we start creating the type of chances we were creating last season, and we'll get a bit more rhythm. But if we don't fix that, I literally don't know what this manager's got to do, but he's got to do something. No excuses from me.
I've been saying, a lot of people have said all season long that Arsenal are worse than last year, and a lot of Arsenal fans have come back with the same old, oh no, you don't get it, we've got more control over games. I just think that's complete and utter waffle. I agree. I think it's complete and utter waffle. I think what's happening there is certain Arsenal fans don't want to accept that they're actually worse this season than they were last season, and they're using this control thing as an excuse to try and justify it. I think you've won 5 games by scoring a goal after the 85th minute. And that's the best way to win games. But it's not sustainable if you're doing it that often, right? Your manager has properly messed up with the transfer. I remember doing streams in the summer saying, you need to get cover for Saka. You need to get someone who can play on that right-hand side. The amount of Arsenal fans said, no, we don't. We're fine. It's like, bro, you let Xhaka go. Another underrated thing. And Arsenal fans will sit there and say, well, he wanted to go. Get your manager to sit him down and say, no, you are a key part of this project, a key part. And then he goes and signs Havertz. If I was an Arsenal fan, and you don't win the league, that man deserves to be sacked for signing Havertz. £65 million. That's a disgrace, man.
LB. My club suffers from toxic positivity. That's what we suffer from.
They just gave us the money, They didn't even try haggle. They didn't even try and negotiate or nothing. They just came and said, 65 M's.
Kunle, correct me if I'm wrong as well. That Havertz signing has made you closer to what FFP regulation that means you can't spend as much as you'd like.
You know you're not wrong, Rome. Stop asking me silly questions.
I know. I just want you to repeat it. Just say it again.
I understand it.
You know what as well, the signing of Raya. Now, whether or not you think Ramsdale is good enough for Arsenal, a team that wants to be winning the title, is Raya that much of an upgrade? You spent another 25-30 million quid on him, obviously, when the fees paid to make it permanent. Is he that much of an upgrade on?
Bro, here's the thing: like Arteta's created a whole bag of problems that didn't need to be there. Because I don't think no Arsenal fan was saying at the end of the season that Ramsdale was the reason why we didn't win the title. Like maybe he can be upgraded, but if you're gonna upgrade him, actually upgrade him. Like let there be a clear difference. So when we got in Ramsdale and Leno, I could maybe. As a keeper, I couldn't see the big difference, but in terms of how he played as a keeper, I could see, okay, this is why Arteta's brought him in. He's good. He's better from the back, better with the ball, blah, blah, blah. But Raya, that wasn't a problem that needed to be fixed. I don't understand it. The guy's making a whole heap of errors. Like I've been preaching about this Reece Nelson thing, and it's messing with my mind. I don't get why give the guy an extra 100K a week to not start him when Saka's fumbling the bag. Like Saka's putting up stinkers week in, week out, but Reece Nelson, who you promised us that you wanted him, gave him a contract, doesn't get a start. I'm not saying he's the answer, guys. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that guy is the answer. I'm not saying that, but at least show the fans that you believe in him by making him start some games, because you can't make every player play themselves into form. It doesn't work out like that. Drop him for the team. Make him feel that he can get dropped, for goodness sake. He's a young boy at the end of the day. Work yourself back in the team.
But all Arsenal fans ever say is that Saka's world class. I don't understand.
I'm not one of them, Kate. I'm not one of them. I don't believe he's world class.
You was telling me that he was a couple months ago.
When? I've never once said that, bro.
Kunle, let me ask you a question. Though, honestly, bro.
Go for it, bro.
Are you worried about Saka? Because, how old is he? 21? If you look at how many appearances he's had, he's 22 now, He's got the appearances of what you'd probably say like a 24-year-old, 25-year-old, right? So, you've seen this with Jack Wilshere, where he ends up just finishing his career mad early and that because he's been overused, Do you think that Saka can really get to that next level being overused like this? Or how do you think Saka's career is going to sort of go from here, man? Honestly, bro, because the guy's he plays every game, bro. Every single game.
First of all, the main difference between Jack Wilshere and Bukayo Saka is pounded yam, ogbono soup, jollof rice. It's in the system. Niger boy at the heart, the core. So we don't have these same injury-prone issues as Jack Wilshere. But that to the side. You know how it goes, bro. You know how it goes. So, like, but with Saka, I don't know. I think he's shown physically he's capable of just kind of avoiding a lot of injuries. He's super strong. His strength is up there. But I don't know how that goes. I literally don't know. But it's clear to see that he needs to get taken out of the limelight for the next couple of games. Watch the game from the bench. Don't even play him. Like, don't even give him a chance from the bench. Like, just bench him. Tell him watch the game for a little bit, and let's see. Because Arteta, this favoritism, just playing the player because he's your favorite star boy, all that stuff. He's clearly playing badly. So I don't know what impression it sets to the rest of the squad. So for me, Saka needs to get pulled out for a couple of games.
You've just given Reece Nelson near enough 100k as well. I swear he signed a new deal. This is where you put your faith in him on that right. But like you said, he's got favourites, so he's not going to give him that chance. And I think Don sadly has a point. You can't run him into the ground. We saw it with Owen, that Don mentioned. We saw it with Mac Owen, we saw it with Wilshere. You don't want him to peak because different players peak at different times. You get some players that peak earlier, you get some players that peak later. But he has all the attributes to have quite a long career. But Arteta's killing him. Not even just Arteta. You have to put some of the blame on Southgate as well. When he plays for England, he plays pretty much every night, most 90 minutes as well. So
you can't blame Southgate, bro. I don't. I think Southgate's completely not a fraud. You can't blame him.
He plays all the time for England when he doesn't have to.
How many games do we have for England? Like 2 games in a 2-week period every 4 months. You can't blame Southgate. I hate the guy. I think he's a fraud, but you can't blame Southgate. This is the club's responsibility to manage the players' minutes, not Southgate, who gets.
LB, the reason why I say that, because some meaningless games when England's already qualified, where you could look, we've got an abundance of talent in England, where you don't have to play Saka on that right wing. More time. Southgate does. He still does. Us fans will tell you he still actually plays.
But he's entitled to do that. If he's experimenting for Euros, he's experimenting.
He doesn't have to experiment with Saka, LB. Come on, there's no experiment with him. Bro. He knows exactly what to expect from him.
In the friendlies that are coming up, you just think he should just drop every single main player and just play a random.
Not every, but players like Saka.
Oh, you're being extreme
to the ground. I think players like Saka, he should rest. He can still have his fault.
Roms, that's not his fault. He's been running to the ground. It's not Southgate's fault that Mikel Arteta's playing him every week. That's Arteta's problem, not Southgate's problem.
So if he burns out in the Euros, Southgate will be upset as well. Do you get me? So it's hurting him in the long run too.
Nah, I'm not having this. I think Southgate's a fraud, but you can't put this on Southgate at all. This is what 2 games. 2 games.
Nah,
it's
predominantly on Arteta. Let's be real.
How many games have England played since the start of the season?
Southgate doesn't remove blame.
Nah, not having that.
I want to ask a question about Arsenal. We know they're struggling at the moment. 1 win in 7, rightfully criticised. Is it not an overreaction, though? Is it not an overreaction? Not to the bad... I see the season's over. It's all done. Not turning it around. Not going to find form. Is that not an overreaction to a team that for the last 18 months have been, barring City's sitting here, they've been better than everybody else, and they are struggling right now? And I'm not suggesting that the Havertz still hasn't had an impact. Martinelli and Saka are definitely nowhere near their form. But I know there's banter, but do we think this is it now? This is as good as it's going to get? They're going to go backwards? Because for me, it just feels a little bit of a, from rivals especially, and some Arsenal fans, like a gross overreaction to the situation.
No, because for me, I always said, and you can check the receipts. I always said that my goal is to get to January. Get to January still in the mix, because I knew Kai Havertz was a hazard. I knew it. I saw it from early, and I was just praying that we could creep our way to January, still in the mix, and we can go and rectify that situation. So I think the alarm bells ringing are too loud right now, because, as I said, the January window ain't over. We're still in the mix. It's not like we're out of the title race. There's plenty of games to play. So I don't know everyone's panic stations. So I'm not there yet. But if the window closes, Terry, let me not lie to you. If the window closes and we don't sign anybody, problems for the rest of the
by the way,
season.
anyone that's always been Arteta route, I actually get their reaction. If you're someone that's never rated him, I get why you're reacting the way you are. But I saw an Arsenal account today, a fairly big one, fuming about a picture of Saka chilling on a boat. And I remember that picture because it came out 2 years ago because everybody was talking about his ashy legs. And I remember it, right? And I remember it because I remember like messaging a few people saying, sorry, I've never heard the expression ashy. It just wasn't used when I was a kid, right? Then I realized what it meant, dry skin, yeah? So I'm like, you're so angry and overreacting that you're out in Saka and spreading your own fake... When you're spreading fake news about your own club...
I tell you, I'm sorry,
you are not...
You can't just say ashy and they try and carry on. You can't just say ashy and they just carry on.
But that's what people were saying, right?
No, I know that. I know, but I'm saying I remember that because I remember
he doesn't realize the impact of his comment. That's what it is. One of them ones.
I saw people tweeting. I was sitting there confused. I didn't even know what they meant.
I remember his legs and his knees are looking dry.
Well, that's probably because for me when I saw it, and it's because his legs are dry. I was like, I didn't know that's what people called it, right? And I was like, I was like, of course it probably is. He's been in the sea, innit? When you get in the sea, you get at the sea. Everyone's legs are dry. Right? Yeah.
The guy's a millionaire, man. The guy's a millionaire. When you come out to sea, have some nippy on.
Don't do that. Don't act like you go out the water.
Hey, Don, that's poor. That's poor by you, Don. Your fellow African brothers. How you want to do him?
There is no man I know that gets out of the sea or the pool when they're on holiday and goes, everybody stop, get me my cream. I don't know any geezer that does that, bruv. No geezer from anywhere. Like, but the thing is, I'm just like, if you're spreading your own fake news about your own club, there's got to be a like they're not in a stable place, especially if it's from somebody that 3 weeks ago was singing Super Mick Arteta, we're going to win the league. I just think that I get rivals jumping on the bandwagon. I get that. You're meant to. We're meant to. It's like with Man United situation. Everyone's meant to jump on us. I get it. But the way I see some Arsenal fans react who 3 weeks ago were convinced they were winning the league, we're only putting 1 or 2 Real Madrid players into this team. The way I've seen them turn in a couple of games is a madness to me. Madness to me.
Terry, do you think it's a bit of PTSD though, Terry? You think it's a bit of PTSD? Like it's happening again?
Of course it is, bro.
It could be that
I don't believe in it.
Do you know what I was going to say about the Arsenal? You know you're saying this is a bit of overreaction. Like Kunle said, I think it depends what they do this window. But if they don't do anything this window, the reason why I'm going to say, you alluded to the last 18 months, Terry, they've been good. Last season, no one expected them to be in a title race. Teams had less respect for Arsenal. Now they've got more respect. You're seeing it in their results. There's no space in behind. Saka and Martinelli numbers have dropped considerably. And I said this to Arsenal fans at the start of the season. There's no guarantee they replicate this form. They were speaking about Salah and Mane. I said, how dare you? They were doing it season in, season out, putting up these numbers. That's why our number 9 didn't necessarily have to score. Saka and Martinelli's put up these numbers for 1 season. If they do it again, I'll give you your credit. But the reason why I think this could be it, I think they'll stay with us and City till about late March. But the reason why I think Arsenal will tail off if they don't sign anyone, because teams have less respect for them. And you're seeing it. The proof's in the pudding. You're seeing it. They don't have that player that's scoring. Saka and Martinelli's dropped their numbers. Gabriel Jesus, we've always known he's not prolific. Again, they don't have that 8 that can cover for Zinchenko to cover that defensive deficiency. And I just think it will be us and City till the end again. So that's why I think Arsenal, they need to sign players. If they don't, they could be in a top 4 race come the end of the season, honestly. And that's,
you know what, Rams? I agree with some of the stuff that you said there, but I couldn't disagree more with where you said opposition doesn't respect them. I actually think the opposition teams really respect Arsenal, and I think that's one of the reasons that they're struggling a little bit this more. If you see how teams are setting up against Arsenal this year,
that's what I meant. They respect them even more this season. Sorry,
that's what you didn't say that. That's what. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Sorry, I meant last season they didn't respect them. This season
because this is one of the issues that they've got is teams are respecting Arsenal more, and rightly so, because they're a good football team. And they're making it more difficult for Arsenal to play against them, as you would do when you play against more difficult football teams. But then combining that with the fact that Arteta's gone for this more control style. I've said all season, I thought Arsenal were a really, really good side last year. Every time they got the ball forward to the wingers, to Odegaard, you thought, oh my God, they're going to score. They get the ball forward now to like Saka and Martinelli, and You just think, what they did? Does anyone really think that they're going to score? Like, they just spam balls into the box. Odegaard does these weird quick turns and that. I think he's made it worse for them. This is why I said, for me, I think he should just get the ball forward to the wingers quicker, like they did last year. They're an exciting team to watch last year. Everyone liked watching Arsenal last year. No one likes watching them now. Boring team, and they don't score goals. So this is solely on the manager. It really is.
Yeah, I get the reaction from Arsenal. Some Arsenal fans, I do. But someone said to me the other day, what do you make of your Arsenal team now? Obviously, ironically.
Yeah.
So, well, they're basically where I said they'd be this year. I didn't predict them to win the league. I said they'd be, I think they're in a title race and they're only 5 points off, but I think they'll finish second or third. And I said at the start of the season, I think this season is win-win for Arsenal. I think they've predominantly built a squad that can go on to win a league title. There's still some holes in it, no doubt. But you're either going to win it with Arteta or you're going to see that he just isn't the guy that's going to get you over that line. You remove him, you sign a better manager, and you go again at another level. That's why I don't, and maybe it's very easy for me to have this opinion because I'm not emotionally attached to the football club. The way I see fans every season, especially when their team's improving and getting better, they act like it's the season finale. You know how the world went crazy when Game of Thrones ended and they didn't like it? That's how people react every time something goes wrong for a few weeks for their football team. I get it if you're Chelsea right now. I get it if you're Man United right now because we're in the absolute pits and it's been going wrong consistently for a decade. But you just sort of think, if it doesn't quite work, you can be gutted, you can call for a manager's head. But I've heard like prominent gooners this week on big podcasts say things like, get rid of the manager, sell 90% of the squad, they start all over again from the beginning. And I just think to myself, you're gone. Your heads are gone. Your heads are gone. It's crazy to me the way they're just throwing the baby out with the bathwater when they're not far away, Arsenal.
They're not
But
far
Terry,
away.
we suffer from extremism in every sense of the word, everything.
I don't think they're far away. I just think Arteta is not the one that can do it. I've said ever since I first come on here, I think he's a fraud. I stand by it. I don't think he's the manager that can get him over the line. It's as simple as that. And until
Why such harsh words, Kate? Why fraud though? Why fraud?
It's the truth. It's the truth, though. It's the truth.
Why the word fraud? I don't get that.
I don't know about fraud, but what she's saying about getting over the line. There's more than enough evidence.
He's a manager of a
things,
massive club like Arsenal, and Arsenal fans once upon a time would have demanded better, and they don't. They accept it and defend him. And for me, he's a bang average manager. And I hope he stays with you forever because he hasn't got it as far as I'm concerned. But if you had a better manager in charge, you would have won. Like you're at the FA Cup now. It's another trophy you can't win this year. Do you know what I mean? How many chances is this guy going to get before Arsenal fans wake up and say, do you know what? He isn't good enough.
No, but do you know what? The reality is this, right? The reality is this. For me, like I'm not the delusional guy that just thinks everything he does is exceptional. The guys that are hyping up everything he does. I'm not that guy. But what I'm saying, I'm Arteta in. And I've said no matter what, he's got to the end of the season. The end of the season, he's got to prove the decisions he made in summer made sense. And he's got to get us that title because I wanted a trophy this season. If he doesn't get us something, he's got to go. Like as much as I'm backing him, I think he deserves to the end of the season. If he can't get it done, he's giving it a good go. Let's go and find someone else. But I don't think this is the time to start calling for his head just now. Let the season play out because there's a lot of points to play in the season. So let's see what happens, man.
You might as well want him gone already then, because you said you wanted a trophy this season. You're not getting no trophy, so you might as well just say it a bit.
Hey, brother, I can't see the future, man. There's plenty of points to be played this season. So let's see what happens in January.
You winning the Champions League.
As much as I'd love to say I'm a fortune teller, and as much as I got the Chelsea project right this season done, I know that's why you're seeking positive answers from me. I don't know. There's plenty of football to play this season. Let's see, man. Let's see. Yeah. But I got to bounce though, guys. Thanks very much for having me. I appreciate it, man. Have a good one, guys.
We've got some super chats here. Matt says Timber is back soon. The league isn't ready for us.
Wait, Terry, is that the Matt who I think it is?
That's Matt in the group chat.
Yes, it's Matt in the group chat.
It's Matt. Yeah, it's Matt that messages all day, every day. That Matt. Yeah, it's
ITK Matt. It's ITK Matt. He knows everything.
It's man's killing my battery, Matt. That's what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? I've got to keep my phone on charge because it keeps. I'm only joking, Matty. Zubimendi bid. Arsenal need to listen. I'm only going by a report from Spain. There's been nothing concrete about that, but I wanted to get people's views on it. The curse of Eva how do you pronounce her name? She's a doctor, right?
Canero, yeah.
Canero, yeah.
What did she do?
Remember, she came on the pitch, and then Mourinho started swearing
Jose
at her.
abused her, and ever since then, yeah.
Yeah,
She
but what
was
is the curse? What's the
I
curse?
don't know.
As in,
She can come curse me, mate.
Oh,
She
as in, yeah.
Oh,
can come curse me, brother. Do you know what I mean? Doctor, I got a temperature. Come help me. I just need medical attention. Zuba, a little better than J20. Do people actually watch anything other than the Prem? He can play both 6 and 8. Exactly what we need at left centre midfield. True Xhaka upgrade. Thank you very, very much there.
I don't think any of us said that. I think that was just the comments. I don't think any of us said that.
The squad here gifted 10 memberships out. I know that Staffy got one. I saw that Staffy got one. So big up. There you go, mate. A free membership for a month for you. So you use it well, my friend. Zubimendi, exactly the profile Arsenal need at left centre midfield. The balls on these knobs dishing a player with 19 GA this season when apparently he is struggling. Obviously talking about the balls on these knobs, calling you knobs, saying you've all got big balls because Saka's had a good season. Leave him alone. Is what Biz.
I gotta call him out on that, bro. Because listen, I don't think. I know. Obviously, because I'd want to defend my players, you want to defend your players. But here's the thing: just because a player's got G&A, don't mean they're playing well. Yeah, and I don't think you're doing Saka justice by saying that he's playing really, really well. But just because he's got 19 G&A, I think actually, if you want to push your player to the absolute world-class position, what you should be saying is he's done fantastically well to get 19 G&A, but he's underperformed. We need him to perform at a better level. I know you're trying to protect your player. I get that. I do that with my player, but I actually don't think that is helping the situation because you need to call out when a player's underperforming. Facts.
You can't say anything bad about Saka. You can't criticize him at all.
Listen, I think his output has been good, but the performances, especially in the last 3 or 4 games, have not been good enough. And I think, again, this is the balance that fans need to generate. There needs to be enough balance of support and encouragement versus criticism. And just take a look at Liverpool fans have got it so right recently. When their team's always done this is why I've changed my tack with Liverpool from a team that I think was leaking too many attacks and that would stop them winning to a team that can persevere and get through it because between them, their manager and their fans, they're able to persevere through the adversity and get through it. And it's because their fans are behind them. So get behind Saka, but when he needs criticism, give it to him. Get that balance right. It's just normal for me. We're going to move on to golden goals, people. So make sure you got your apps open. Make sure you got your score predictions ready. Get the like button hit. If you haven't downloaded it yet, get BetMGM now. It's free. You've got to be over the age of 18, though. Scan the QR code that's just above my head in between me and Rom, or click on the link in our description or in our live chat. Get it downloaded. First game of the weekend. I'm going to get an LB first on this one. We don't have graphics ready today. That's mainly because KJ's had a day or so off to go to a wedding and he does the graphics. So you just have to imagine they're on the screen. But LB, the first game on Golden Goals this weekend is Newcastle United versus Manchester City, sorry. How do you see this game going for your boys?
Listen, I'm not confident, man. I'm not particular. No, I'm not confident, man. I think people are. I know Newcastle have not had a great time recently. Yeah, they've struggled a little bit, but listen, they're going to be well up for this game. That team that they put up against Sunderland was a solid 11. So they're not going to have any excuses about injuries or whatever. They've got a solid 11 to play, and we've seen them get results against big teams before. So I know people will say, yeah, but Liverpool smacked them. It's different though, isn't it? It was at Anfield. This is at St James's Park, man. This is at St James's Park. Like, I'm going to back my team. I'm going to go for a 2-1, but I ain't really that confident, man. Well, it's weird because I'm confident in my team, and my team's playing all right again now. Yeah, but I just feel that Newcastle are about to drop a mad performance, man. And we got a draw last year there. I don't know. Not that confident. 2-1, bro.
Is Haaland back, or he won't be introduced?
He'll be on the bench, I reckon, bro.
Fair.
Do you think KDB will start this game?
Don't sound like it. I'd start him, but I don't think so.
Getting some fitness.
I don't understand. Newcastle right now are absolutely shocking.
Exactly.
Nah, I know what you're trying to do there, man. I know
No,
what you're
I'm
trying
not,
to do.
I'm not trying to do nothing.
Terry,
I mean
the
it. I
result,
mean it.
a derby win, the confidence. I agree with LB. I think City win 2-1. But come on, Terry, a derby win. The form they were going into that game as well. A derby win can give you.
Have you seen Sunderland? Listen, if you've got to get ready because you've got a big geezer, he's after you trying to beat you up, Roms, and your practice fight for that against a big strong-arm geezer was to go and beat up a 3-year-old. That ain't going to help you, is it? Like they just slapped up a bang average Sunderland team.
Man said a derby game, you know. That's a howler from you. That's a howler from you.
It is a derby. It is a derby. They're right. It's
a derby, but it wasn't nothing.
It ain't a derby with two stallions. It was a stallion racehorse against a donkey, bruv. Come on now. Come on.
I know. I'm with LB. Slim win for City, 2-1. I think City just.
Can you imagine that red rum racing Eeyore? It ain't going to end well. It isn't. You're going to smash them by 2 or 3 clear goals. 2 or 3 clear goals. Easy on that. What have you gone for, Kate? What have you gone for on your golden goals this week?
I've gone for 2-1 City as well. I think it'll be tight. I know you're saying that Newcastle are rubbish, but they can score. And I don't think City are at their best. So I think it'll be a tight game, but I expect City to just edge it.
There we go. I am a little disappointed by your next one, though. Okay, I'm going to go straight to you on the next one. Tell everybody your prediction for Manchester United, the Red Devils, the Cock of the North, versus Tottenham.
I have gone Manchester United 2, Tottenham Hotspur 4. I think it'll be an absolute goal fest. I think it will be an open game, but I think Tottenham have got too much quality, and I think they're going to be more confident than United. And yeah, I do expect us to beat you. God, what have I said? I'm scared now. But Terry, you think you're going to win, so what have you said? 5-0 or something ridiculous, I suppose.
No. In fairness, I didn't do my City one, actually. I predicted City 3-1 is what my prediction was. I've gone with 2-1 to Man United. I've gone 2-1 United. I think it'll be a narrow win for us. Like I said earlier, I think there's going to be a bit of overconfidence, a little bit of disrespect to Man United. Rasmus Højlund, by the way, is getting his second Premier League goal this weekend before our little warm weather break when we go and sun ourselves in Bognor Regis. It's going to be...
Do it.
LB, what you gone for, mate, on the United versus Tottenham?
Oh, I don't know. I can't make my mind up on this one. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 2-1 United. No, and Kate, you know what it is, Kate? I don't say that because I want you to win, because I think obviously I want you to win, but United do this. United win these games that they shouldn't win. So I'm gonna say 2-1. But if it's any consolation, Kate, I think you'll play better. I think you'll play better than them. I don't think that's a consolation, but at least you can come and say you played really well at Old Trafford. But I do think
do you know what I'll do for the next show? I'll make you a badge that says that, Kate. I'll make you a badge. Don, what do you think the score's going to be at Old Trafford on Sunday?
You lot aren't really scoring right now. Vicario as well in goal.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to say Spurs. I'll say 2-1 Spurs.
Terry, my husband's just texted me and said, I became a member, but if United beat us, tell Terry I'm cancelling it.
I'm going to take him to a strip club. Just then tell him that I'll pay for his dances as well. Like them stay. We're going out, Kate. I'm sorry, I'm taking your husband out. We're going out on the razzle, mate. That's what we're doing. We're painting the town red. Roms, what you saying, bruv?
Same as I've thought it for weeks. United will nick this again. Spurs will be better than pillar to post, but United smash and grab, man. I've seen this story. Seen this story before.
So there's an interesting comment here. I can't pronounce the name. It's something skin, right? Runkelstiltskin, I think it's meant to say. It says, this is about you, I assume, Kate. It says, she looks like pink. 6-1 to Spurs.
6-1?
Yeah, I was more interested
You've done it before, Kate. You've done 6-1 before.
I look more like
You have.
Mum, maybe.
What's more like, it's there we go. But listen, I as long as, it's win-win for me. We either win and I'm happy, or we lose and we're closer to getting rid of Ten Hag. So whatever happens. The next game on Golden Goals this week, Burnley versus Luton. What you going with, LB?
Wow, this is a big game, actually, isn't it? This is actually like a really, really big game.
Don, you need to keep your eye on this one. This result.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, it does. Who's at home? Burnley at home.
Burnley at home, yeah.
But Luton have looked all right, Luton. I don't think Luton are a bad team. Like, they're hard to beat.
I think they're going to stay up, LB. I think they're home form.
Yeah. Nah, they ain't staying up, bro. Because the teams above them are well better than them.
Yeah. No,
they ain't. You know what? I'm going to go for. It kills me to say this, yeah, but obviously I've got £2 million on the line, so I'm going to go for a Luton 1-0 win. I'm sorry, man, but I've got to think of the 2 mil.
What about yourself, Kate? What you going with? Burnley versus Luton.
I've gone 2-1 Burnley. Just because they're at home, really. I think Luton are different gravy to what they are away. Obviously, they're much better at home, but I've just got a feeling Burnley will nick this. And I like Vincent Kompany so much. He's got so much swag. He wears this suit with his t-shirt, a cap, and trainers, and he still looks amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
You can't judge your score predictions on a geezer that you fancy. Come on now, that is sexist.
You like him wearing that cap at the blazer?
Sexist. Can you imagine? Come on, you're the female Joey Barton. Stop it now. Come on.
Jim's watching. Jim's watching.
Jim said, I can't compete with Vinny.
Burnley's results, man, recently. I think, Luton are...
I'm going 2-2. I'm going 2-2, I'm going to go 2-2. I think Luton going to nick a little draw. I'm going to go a little 2-2. When you play Golden Goals, or the other 6 fixtures, the other 3 fixtures are for the following weekend, because it's this weird kind of split of international breaks at the minute. So you have to lock your predictions in early, which makes it a little more difficult. You've got to have good ball knowledge to get these right. Arsenal Crystal Palace, Don, what are you going for on the 20th?
Ooh, okay, that's at the Emirates, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Palace ain't got Olise right now, I don't think. But defensively they're good, man. Mateta might give Saliba a bit of a headache. I'm gonna go for a draw for that one,
Ooh. 1 win in 8.
I'm gonna go for a draw in that one, I'm gonna say 1-1. I'm gonna say 1-1.
1-1. Legs 11, 1-1. What about yourself, Roms?
I'm gonna go for a tight Arsenal 1-0 win. 1-0 win. I think it's going to be tough. I actually believe Elise will probably be back now then, because I think Palace have a 2-week break or whatnot, and I reckon
if he's back, I'll have them down to win.
They play the next weekend, so I think Palace have had I think they were their first FA Cup game. I think even if he comes off the bench, he's got that much quality, he can affect the game. And you know what? Before last season, Palace were unbeaten at Emirates in 4 games. They're Arsenal's bogey team at home. They've drawn 3 times. Their last 5 games, they've lost once, drawn 3 times, and won 1. So Arsenal don't really find it easy against Palace at home. But I think all good things from a rival's perspective have to come to an end. And I think Arsenal do enough to get this 1-0 win. So, yeah, I think they nick it.
LB, what you going with, mate?
I think Don might be on something here, I think this could be a 1 in 8 situation. And yeah, man, I'm gonna back a 1-1. We will be there. I'm not thinking of the 2 million, by the way. The 2 million's just gone.
Recently, bro. Listen, I watched Mateta at the bridge in person. That guy, bro, he's a problem up top. To get the ball off of him. He's very similar to Adebayo, but he's better than him. Yeah, and Saliba struggled with those sort of strikers recently, like Watkins, Adebayo the other day. Do you know what I mean? So, boy,
I hear you.
It's not going to be easy up there. It's not.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 Arsenal. I think they'll win that game. I think they'll win. That warm weather, sunning themselves. Tough game, but 2-0 I'm going with. Kate, you've gone with 2-1 in that one, haven't you?
I have, yeah. Dirty gooners to nick it. Nothing else to say about that.
Roms, the next game is on the 21st. It's Bournemouth, Liverpool.
Right. They're going to hate me again, but I think we draw this 2-2.
Come on.
I think we draw this 2-2. I think
Two little ducks.
We've been in good form, but I've predicted this on other channels. I think we're due a blip. After that, we've got Chelsea and Arsenal in the league. We always draw against Chelsea. Arsenal away at the Emirates will be tough, but Bournemouth haven't lost at home since October. Solanke and Semenyo, I hope Newcastle can sign Solanke before the game. That would help. But Solanke and Semenyo have been scintillating form. They've not lost at home since October. We don't really travel there in the last couple of years well. And I just think we won't lose, but it might be one of them games. You know, the last game on a Sunday, under the lights, last game of the weekend, I think we could struggle. So I think it will be a 2-2 draw.
What about yourself, LB?
I think Bournemouth could win this game. I think Bournemouth could. I think Bournemouth could win this game. Yeah, Rom set out the case as to why they could win. He just, didn't want to say they could win. He obviously back in the draw, but I reckon that Bournemouth could win this. I'm going to go, and obviously Liverpool got players out. I'm going to say 2-0 Bournemouth.
Woo!
Clean sheet. LB, come on, respect. Your score. We'll score it, please.
No.
Listen, that'd be great. I'm going 2-1 Liverpool. I'm going 2-1 Liverpool. Actually, I'm gonna do a football gods here. I'm gonna go 6-0 Liverpool. 6-0 win, easy. Bournemouth for nothing. So I'm going with no 2-1. What are you going with, Kate?
I've gone for 3-2 Liverpool. I think Bournemouth are good at home, but Liverpool just seem to find a way to nick it. So
yeah,
I think it'll be 3-2.
Bournemouth Wolves, Don. Bournemouth Wolves. What are you going with, mate?
Right.
Final one.
Bournemouth. You need to say Bournemouth.
Brighton. My apologies.
Oh, Brighton Wolves. Brighton at home, yeah.
Sorry, that wasn't me talking. That was my friend Jack. My friend Jack Daniels. He was chatting. He was chatting then.
Brighton Wolves. Oh, I feel like it's got a draw written all over it, man. I'm gonna say 2-2 for that one.
LB, what you gone with, mate?
I'm liking Wolves, although they beat us. They're sort of I like watching them. They play some good stuff. I'm going to back Wolves, even though they're away, and I'm going to say 2-1 Wolves.
That's what I've gone with as well. I think Wolves are a strong team. Kate?
I've gone same as Don and gone Desmond 2-2 for me.
For a Desmond 2-2.
Yeah.
There we
Trying
go.
to catch up, man. Just try and catch up me and KJ at the top right now. You know what I'm saying?
No, I've had a mare the last 3 or 4 weeks. I just can't get any. I've had so many that have been like really close, but just absolute no cigar whatsoever.
I'm united to win, so I'm going to overtake all of you. So don't you worry about that.
Delusional is pink, isn't she? Absolutely delusional. Listen, I want to thank everyone who's tuned in. Make sure you play Golden Goals. You've got until 5:30 on Saturday to get yourself signed up. That's a deadline. So you've got like just under 24 hours to get signed up for this round of games. It's £2 million available. It's free to play. Costs you nothing to download. You've just got to be in the UK and over the age of 18. So get that done. I want to thank LB, Roms. I want to thank Don and Kate and everyone that's super chatted today. Everyone who smashed the like button so far. And of course, I big up my guy, Kunle as well. Absolute pleasure having him on today, chatting Arsenal and all things football. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you.